Lock your doors and pour something strong. You're listening to Phantom Proof Podcast. Here are your ghosts, Logan and Wayne.
Hey guys, I'm Logan.
And I'm Wayne.
And you're listening to Phantom Proof Podcast. So we want to thank you guys for being patient with us. The last week and a half has really kicked our ass.
We both ended up getting dramatically sick.
Yeah. So I was at work on Friday and I was feeling, a little ugh. And then by 1 o'clock, I think I was like, I couldn't lift my head up off the desk at work. And my coworkers told me to go home. So I clocked out and I felt so bad. I went in the on-call room and slept for like 2 hours. And then drove myself home, violently shaking, took my temperature, 103.2. And this was on Friday. And you made it to what, Monday?
Yeah, because you were sick all weekend, and you finally got back to work on Monday. And when I got to work on Monday, I stayed till maybe 10 o'clock before I put my head down on my desk. And then I got home to 102-degree fever.
Yeah, so we were both pretty sick. And aside from the fact that we didn't have the energy to watch TV, let alone record an episode, and the fact that both of us were so snotty and congested that it really didn't make any sense for us to record. So anyways, that's why you guys are getting episode 4 a week late. We apologize, but we got a lot of well wishes and emails from people saying that we feel better. That meant a lot. And I guess we're both pretty much back to 100%.
Finally good enough to record at least.
Yeah, and I'm a little pissed off that I only have had COVID one time, and that was October of 2020, and I made it 5 years. In fact, that one time I went to your house before we moved in together when you had it, and surely I was going to get it and never got it, and here I am 5 years later, almost exactly, and I got COVID again.
Yeah, the first time I got it was rough, and I don't even know when that was, but it's been a while.
It's probably been a year and a half. But I remember it was bad. Your temperature was up to 103 something.
Yeah, 103 and some change, and I finally said, maybe I should see a doctor.
So, anyways, here we are, week 4, episode 4, and we are covering probably my favorite topic, my favorite monster cryptid, werewolves. And werewolves, I'm not sure if I like them so much because it was like the first monster I was exposed to when I was a kid when it comes to like scary movies and stuff. But my mom and I would watch Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman like religiously, not even during like October or Halloween. We would just watch it anytime I would request it. And that might be where, I don't want to call it an obsession, my interest started. But I love werewolf stuff. We were talking about this yesterday. I love werewolves that are like big, bipedal, just creepy. I'm trying to think of the best word for it. They're just like built like a Maytag refrigerator. Like, so, you watch the movies, the terrible one we watched last night, Werewolves. This came out last year, guys, and I was really optimistic because the trailer looked so good. But that movie was terrible. It was so bad. But anyways, it's one of the movies where they portray the werewolves as these like long, gangly, little mutant looking things. But I like the Wolfman style.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the movies that portray them as like long, gangly, I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me. But that movie yesterday was just bad.
Yeah, no, it was rubber suit CGI. It was weird.
It was weird. There was no character development at all. Like, people would just get eaten, and you'd be like, wait, who was that again?
Yeah, one of the main characters just disappeared.
Yeah, just gone.
Never followed up on that.
No.
And I would love to know what happened to her.
Yeah, me too, because like in the movie, like you said yesterday, unless they were like the wolf was sitting on top of the truck, there was nowhere for him to reach down out of the sky and just pluck her.
Unless he's flying, and that's just a new development that they didn't tell us about.
I guess. So I don't recommend this movie. I'm sorry. I need somebody to come out and make a like new but really good werewolf movie. Not artsy fartsy where It explores the duality of man, and it's not a wolf. It's a, you know, just like I just need a scary, old school, new werewolf movie, and I'll be happy because I've watched all the like old school good ones: American Werewolf in London, Cursed, Silver Bullet, The Bad Moon. Yeah, I'm having some mind farts, but I've seen a bunch of werewolf movies.
I have not.
I have. I'll educate you, but there have been a surprising amount of sightings of werewolves just in the continental United States. And the legend of the werewolf dates back to, different Native American tribes, in England, or not England, in Europe, in Germany in the 1530s, I think. Peter Stump was this really almost like a witch trial werewolf hunt type thing where this prominent farmer who was a widow and had 2 kids. Basically, the government tortured him after a string of like mutilated corpses were found of women and children, and he confessed, admittedly after hours of torture, to making a deal with the devil. The devil gave him like a fur belt or something to wear, and it would transform him into a wolf. And so he wandered the German countryside and turned into a wolf and just mutilated and devoured all these different people, including his children. Yeah, his own children.
Was part of that the full moon too, or could he just transform at any given time?
No, my understanding is as long as he was wearing the pelt, he could transform into a wolf.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, was this, I don't know how much research or how much you know on that, but was that like the wolf man stance, or did he just turn into a regular wolf?
That I don't know. I mean, it has like all the medieval artwork of like him in quotation marks.
Yeah.
But it just shows like like when you think of Renaissance era Europe, that like, I don't know,
That
cartoony,
weird style,
weird cartoony style. It just kind of had him like that. But I don't think there's any descriptors of like his transformation or what he looked like.
That'd be interesting to know.
It would be, but it's very reminiscent of like witch trials, the way that it went down, because then it became that, he wasn't the only one accused of being a werewolf. There were multiple people then who were being accused by their neighbors, their friends, enemies, whoever, of being a werewolf. And just like the witch trials, there really wasn't a trial. It was just like, hey, they're weird, or, we don't really have any concrete evidence, but, these people are saying it's true, and so they would be rounded up and executed. But Peter Stump was beheaded in true medieval Europe fashion, and there's not a whole lot of like original documentation left because I think it was the 30 Years' War, something like that. A lot of the documentation was destroyed in different fires, intentionally, and just the standard casualty of war, just things get burnt and destroyed. But there is a pamphlet that was published pretty soon after all these events happened, and like is the closest thing we have to in great detail, of what happened. He admitted to all of this, but even, it's admitted that he was tortured for hours, if not days, before he finally was just like, fuck it, yes, okay, yes, I'm a wolf. The devil gave me a pelt, a belt or something. I turned to a wolf and I eat people. And then he started saying that the devil had paired him with a succubus. Yeah, it gets a little more into detail.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that's like the earliest documented, mainstream werewolf story that I could find.
Well, most of them is like stories that the babysitter tells you, so you just shut up and sit down for a while. The only one of any significance, it's all obviously this weird theory, but the colony of Roanoke.
Yes.
There's actually quite a few theorists out there that say it was werewolves.
I have not heard of this.
Yeah, I didn't read too much into it because this was a long time ago when I read it. But when you brought up the episode of Werewolves, I was like, oh yeah, that triggered a memory because there's a theory that the Roanoke colony disappeared because of werewolves.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get into that then, because that's pretty interesting.
It was interesting, and then they mentioned like the carving on the tree and stuff. They don't know why anyone would have done that instead of just spelling out like, hey, this is what happened, but.
And I always get this confused with the Lost Colony.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not, this is 2 different groups of people. The Lost Colony I want to say is like coastal North Carolina, Virginia. I want to say Jamestown. But you talk about the carving in the tree, and
Yeah.
for their colony, I think Croatoan.
Yeah, the Croatan.
Croatan, yeah,
Yeah.
was carved into the tree. So I don't know if this is I don't think that we're talking about the same colony, but I'm gonna have to look it up about the werewolf thing because that's pretty interesting. Because I want to know like what evidence supported anybody to come up with that. Like, what did they find that was like, oh shit, it was a werewolf?
Yeah, I don't know. It could just be just some random theorist going online saying anything. I'm sure I could have clicked one more page over and found that a fairy did it. So,
Well, it's a fair point. But yeah, so like I said, the biggest or the first mainstream was Peter Stump in Germany, and then another prominent European country where werewolves were prevalent was France, and in France they were called loups-garous, and it is fun to say. Wait till you hear the next part, the Americanized like French Cajun, the way they pronounce it. But anyways, the word was loup-garou, which literally means like werewolf in their like translation. But like you were saying, the babysitter told you just to get you to, sit down, shut up, act right. It was almost like a punitive, like a beware type thing. So the parents or, whoever would tell the kids, if you steal, a loup-garou will get you. If you vandalize a house, the rougarou, basically if you do anything bad, a werewolf will come and eat you. And they used it as this, like you would tell now, like if you tell a kid, hey, if you go out after dark when I tell you not to, the big,
ghost will get you.
yeah, the ghost will get you or something stupid. So that's kind of what it was about. And it also had religious connotations where they said that, I can't remember the exact, criteria, but basically like if a Catholic denounced Catholicism or denounced a religion or something like that, they would turn into a loup-garou.
Controlled by fear.
Right.
I like it.
Yeah, that seems to be the historical go-to. But yeah, so the French used it as that system, and then when a bunch of the French came to Louisiana and to started the French Cajun culture or subculture, they changed it to their language, the French Cajun, rougarou. So loup-garou in French, rougarou in French Cajun. And French Cajun is literally just a combination of English and French.
Oh, it just sounds like it turned into a Scooby-Doo thing.
Rougarou. Oh my god, I'm about to find out if there's a Scooby-Doo episode where they have a rougarou now. Because then he's just saying it right. But yeah, and it had the same connotations in Louisiana that it did actually in France. So they would tell the kids, if you do this, that the rougarou would get you. And there were some voodoo connotations, and they actually kind of had their own spin on it to where you would be a rougarou for 101 days. And I think if you can resist eating human flesh, killing as a rougarou for the 101 days, the curse lifted and you were cured. But if you gave into it, you were doomed to be a rougarou forever.
Well, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
I've never heard any of this.
Yeah, it's the lesser known one. I just happened to find it when I was doing a little bit of research for the episode. But I'm definitely going to dive more into that because there have been sightings or reported sightings of rougarous in Louisiana. So I would love to really get into that and see if there's more to that legend than the little bit I could find on the internet.
Well, there's a couple like encounter videos I saw. Like one was a trail cam video, and it showed something. I'm definitely going to say it wasn't like a four-legged critter. Whatever it was got up and ran off, and they said it was like a werewolf or a wolf man. It looked more to be like a Bigfoot to me, but I don't know. It wasn't a very clear video. But the only thing I found, because I was trying to look more local, and there's so many in the Appalachian area.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine.
And primarily in Maryland, of all places. Odd.
It is.
But there was one that I found, one story that you can't even get the whole story on. I think it's because it was one of those, your parents tell you the story so you'll behave type thing, like you were saying. But it was in Winston-Salem, and they called it a wolfing nanny.
Really?
Yeah. I only found like two things to click on online, and one of them was Reddit, and it was just someone saying, does anyone else know what this is? And someone replied like, oh yeah, my parents told me about that. There was a sighting here this many years ago. I think it was in like the 70s or 80s.
Huh.
Did you find it?
No, but well, here's Reddit. Yeah, I remember hearing this. This is from Watch Me Dox Myself from 3 years ago on the cryptids thread. But it says, I remember hearing a story from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, about a chupacabra-like creature called a wolf-nanny, or a wolf nanny. I think it's wolf nanny, but it's spelled like wolf is spelled like Old English or something.
Oh.
With the it says the problem is I can't find any trace of it online again, and I'm pretty sure I'm spelling it wrong. I would really like a link to share with a friend. Okay, so this one, Twisted Wicket, says, my grandmother grew up in Mocksville, North Carolina, and told me about wolf nannies when I was about 8. So yeah, there's really not a whole lot about it. There's just a couple of replies on a Reddit thread.
Just local urban legend, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. And then there's this one from
the Facebook post?
Yeah,
Yeah.
where you grew up, you grew up in Forsyth, North Carolina, if you ... But it's somebody saying, does anyone remember the Wolf Nanny, or whatever it was called, Robin Hood Road, Fleetwood Circle area, circa early 1960s. And then there's a lot of people, oh yeah, the Wolfin, not wolf. This person saying it's the Wolfin Nanny, like a dog says wolf. It's the Wolfin.
Oh, that's clever. Okay, I like that.
So I guess that it's the summer of '66. That is crazy. So this person, same guy says, this isn't a werewolf, but it's called the Zoomenzacker around the Wahlberg area a couple years before. It was a goat-like creature. He says an old girlfriend's brother encountered it in the woods off Wahlberg Road. She said it chased him home, and he wouldn't go near the woods for about 3 years after that.
Now, Goatman is a whole different thing, and Goatman is probably one of my favorite.
Yeah, Goatman's probably second or third to me on the cryptid scale.
He's still below Mothman, but...
Yeah, I know you like Mothman. But no, so back to werewolves. We've talked about the Luguru, the Rougarou, and then you look in like old America, ancient America, Native American tribes. It's mostly attributed to skinwalkers.
Ooh.
So they say that, that and shapeshifters were given powers to become wolves by their different rituals and nature and things like that. And there's a lot of current legends that have roots in Native American culture, go figure, because they were here first, and so they're going to have the bulk of the old stories. But the Jersey Devil in the Pine Barrens, one of the theories is that it was the 13th child born to a Native American mother and was cursed to roam as a devil. And there's actually a movie, and I watched it way too young, and it might be simple like the Jersey Devil, but we have to watch it maybe tonight.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, because it might be one of those where I watch it now and I'm like, oh, okay, the graphics are bad, the costume's terrible, but as a 7-year-old or whoever was I watched it, it scared the shit out of me. But it goes kind of into that whole like Native American legend as well. But yeah, current America has the Beast of Bray Road in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I read about that one.
That's probably the most or one of the most popular.
I might be mistaken. I thought that was a cat-like creature.
No, the Beast of Bray Road is a werewolf, supposed werewolf.
Okay, I'll look back.
I know vaguely what you're talking about.
I cannot. I thought it was Bray Road.
Unless there's another cryptid on Bray Road.
We'll come back to that. But no, there's definitely a giant cat thing. That's all I remember.
Okay. So, and then you have the Michigan Dog Man.
Yes.
And I watched a documentary or like one of those Travel Channel style documentary things on Amazon Prime. And the Michigan Dog Man, I think the Beast of Bray Road, when it comes to its description, fits my ideal werewolf, as opposed to the Michigan Dog Man, which all the ones I could find, the sketches and stuff, were all like the gangly thing that, I don't know, just doesn't do it for me. But the Beast of Bray Road has actually been spotted probably since the 30s, if I remember right. I'm trying to pull up the thing I found. Yeah, the Beast of Bray Road is a Wisconsin legend about a mysterious wolf-like creature near Elkhorn, Wisconsin, and it dates back to the 90s. And there's an increase in reports through the 80s and the 90s. It's described as a large, hairy humanoid with canine features. It's been seen near Bray Road, often near the road, eating roadkill or in cornfields. The creature is often described as 6 to 7 feet tall, with glowing eyes, sharp claws, and a muscular build. Some think it's werewolf, some think it's Bigfoot, or a completely unknown species. And there's a picture linked. Okay, I don't know for sure that this is supposed to be. No, okay. This seems a little bullshit. There's a picture on here. It's a photo taken. It's a sighting of the Beast of Bray Road, and I don't know. It literally looks like somebody wearing a. It looks like somebody wearing a costume.
Yeah, I can see it. It's weird. It has the hind legs of a dog. I'll give him that.
Yeah, but I don't know. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the sketches of the description that people had.
No, that looks like a golden retriever in a bad costume.
It does. Wow. So, okay, now that I've got that out of the way and I don't feel nauseous anymore from whatever the fuck that was. So, okay, so this is pretty recent. So, one day in May of 2020, Lake Geneva resident Ron Rice claimed that he had traveled to the town of Lyons to deliver a load of fertilizer to a farm on Highway 36. This is a job that he performs on a regular basis. And while he's sitting in his truck on the farm's driveway after he finished the delivery, he looked to the side and he noticed a strange figure standing at the edge of the tree line about 150 feet away. Rice described the creature as standing nearly 7 feet tall and being covered in coarse brown hair. The creature picked an unidentifiable object off the ground and retreated into the foliage. So it doesn't have like a big description of it. It was just tall with coarse hair, and it picked something up off the ground and left.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe it has thumbs because it sure picked something up.
Well, it didn't specify if it was with his mouth.
No, fair enough. I didn't think of that.
Lori and Dreezy. So I did watch a documentary. I think I still have it on my Prime. Called The Beast of Bray Road, and it's basically just interviewing the people who saw it. So Lori and Dreezy, on a fall night in 1989, around 1:30 in the morning, was driving home via Bray Road. As she was driving, she noticed a figure on the side of the road, and it was facing away from her, but she could see its pointed ears. As she kept driving, she was able to see the front of the figure. It was a creature with dark brownish gray fur. It was kneeling so that she could see its large claws. The claws were holding a chunk of a flattened animal, roadkill, and she believes the animal was the size of an average human, about 5'7", roughly 150 pounds. The creature had glowing eyes as the headlights of the car shined on it. She says the creature was not scared, and it tracked her car as she drove away. Blech.
Could she have just been tired?
No, I don't know. I mean,
that's a lot of description to just be tired.
I was gonna say, when I was in paramedic school, I stayed up like 90 hours at one point, and that was the most exhausted I've been in my entire life. And I didn't see a giant dog man eating shit on the side of the road. So I don't know. I don't know what else it could be, because people keep saying that these werewolf sightings, or even just general cryptid sightings like Bigfoot, are like a different animal. It's a bear, or it's something that people are misidentifying. That's just a normal animal. But a lot of these stories, it's kind of like, how?
Yeah, because, I mean, granted, some of them, like the videos that you see posted from random amateurs, sure, some of those could definitely be a bear, or a very large cat, or something.
Mm-hmm.
But stories like that, with certain descriptions, if we're to believe this person, how can you contradict what you think that is, or what they think that is? Number one, if you weren't there. Number two, that description is pretty spot on for something freaky, weird.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, I don't really see how you can see something that has wolf-like features, but it's a bear. So I don't know. But we also have Doris Gibson, who on Halloween night, 1991, was driving home. And while she was on Stitler Road, which is now called Hospital Road, she felt that her tire lifted off the ground, and she drove for 50 feet until she pulled over to check her tire. She thought she'd hit a small animal and had got stuck in her car, so she got out to investigate. And she didn't see anything first, so she went to go check the back of her car. As she was walking towards the rear of the car, she saw a creature charging straight at her. Yeah, it was a beast bigger than her with a hairy chest, and she barely made it into her car and quickly stepped on the gas, rushing out of there. She doesn't remember how it was running. The only thing she remembers is the chest heaving as it was running, and its steps getting louder as it was stomping on the pavement. She actually saw the creature again at a different time, but she didn't disclose that time. And after picking a friend up for a party, her friend pointed at a creature that was stalking the side of the road. It said Doris didn't even turn to look. She just stepped on the gas to get out there as quickly as possible. And after inspecting her car, which was a blue Plymouth Sundance, she noticed what looked like claw marks on the back of the trunk. And Linda Godfrey, the author of the book, confirms that there were some markings, but could not tell what they were from. And then a lot of these are just isolated around the 1990s, like late 80s, early 90s. Oh, okay. So in late December 1990, Heather Bowie, or Bowie, I'm not sure, had an encounter with the creature. Her mom, Karen, also remembers that day. Karen recalls that Heather came home scared, saying she saw what looked like a dog until it stood up. Heather explained that she and her friends were sledding, and that when dust rolled around, they saw a large dog-like creature. The creature had silver-colored fur with brown patches, and its face was shaped like a coyote's. The creature looked at Heather and her friends, who, while looking at the creature, slowly backed away so that they didn't turn their backs to it. The creature then started chasing the kids and got about halfway to their house before stopping and going back to the cornfield. And there was a Russell Guest, who was one of the kids with Heather, confirms the story. And the last first-hand account I can find, first-hand sighting, was Tom Brichta and his friend Chris Maxwell from Illinois had gone to a wedding reception in Genesee Depot in August of '92. Chris was staying at Jellystone Campground near Fort Atkinson, and Tom was driving him there. There was a thick fog on the road, and as Chris was driving, he hit something. He thought he had hit a mailbox, so he backed up. And after he realized there was no mailbox, he saw that a big, hairy creature was walking and reaching out to them. Yeah. He had the car window open and said that he could smell a horrible odor like a skunk. And the creature had whitish gray fur, and other parts of it presumably were black with streaks. It reached out and scratched the side of his car. Okay, so I have a tidbit on this one.
As do I. You go first.
I think we're probably thinking the same thing. So it's a large, hairy creature that stinks of skunk.
And it has black and white fur.
That is every ounce of a Bigfoot.
Actually, there's a subset of Bigfoot. It's called a skunk ape. Native to Florida, I believe.
I thought that was just like a territorial renaming of the same cryptid. Or is that like a whole different cryptid?
I believe it's one all to its own, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to search it again. But, yeah, there is one known as the skunk ape. If I'm not mistaken, it's Florida. I'm probably wrong. But
I don't know. That sounds like some Florida shit.
It does.
But no, I feel like even, like, not skunk ape, just Bigfoot stories in general, I always hear about how it smells like a skunk. Like, whenever somebody sees one, they always say that, oh, I just smell this horrible skunk smell, like, in the area.
It could be. It gets me thinking back to a few weeks ago when we had a horrible skunk smell in the backyard.
I know, but
Could have been Bigfoot.
okay.
Can't change my mind now.
No, it definitely wasn't a skunk. It was Bigfoot.
No, skunks aren't real.
Skunks don't exist. So yeah, there are a lot of sightings, and there are other sightings. This one's back in 1936. There's another one in 1972, and then there's also some pieces of evidence. Okay, before we move on, this is describing the picture that we were laughing at.
Oh, okay.
So on January 29th, 2020, Danby Morgan was driving down Weeks Road, which is a mile away from Bray Road. He claims he took a picture of what looked like a wolf walking on its hind legs and showed the picture. It's widely believed to be fake for several reasons. The right arm of the wolf looks like it's a skeleton or a rod, and the stomach looks unnatural, as it should be lower due to gravity if it's walking on its hind legs, blah, blah, blah. And it appears to be in motion, yet the arms and legs don't have the motion blur. So basically, everybody's saying that this guy or somebody just had like a taxidermied wolf, which honestly is what it looks like. It looks like somebody horribly taxidermied a coyote. And because I'm also wondering, like, how in the hell, like, how do you get that close to take that picture without it turning and looking at you? Because this is clearly like, unless it was on a trail cam.
I will say, it looks almost like it's in the headlights. And if that's the case, there'd be a whole lot more motion blur if you're in a moving vehicle.
That's what I'm saying. And like, I see like if you look on the bottom left of the photo, it looks like that could be the white of like the white line on the road. Yeah. It's just, like a shitty maintain road, but okay. So it's good to know that I'm not the only one who thinks that picture's fake. Yeah, so that was the Beast of Bray Road, which is based out of Wisconsin. And before we go any further, we need to talk about our drink.
Yes.
So our drink this week, or I guess technically the last 2 weeks, since we're a week late, is the Mark of the Beast. And the Mark of the Beast is... Damn, I gotta find the...
While you pull that up, I do want to go on and say the one I was thinking of is the Beast of Bladenboro.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Big cat thing. That's also in North Carolina.
I was gonna say,
I think they have like a whole festival.
They do have a whole festival. Okay, we'll go. I think it was like, wasn't it killing livestock?
Yes.
Yes. So the Mark of the Beast is 1.5 ounces of dark or spiced rum. We used just original Captain Morgan spiced rum. Blood orange juice. If you can't find blood orange juice, like regular orange juice works just fine. Just know that it really won't be that red color that you'll see like in the picture. We've got 1/2 ounce of cherry liqueur, which I was a little skeptical on. I was worried that because every time I get some kind of like flavored schnapps or liqueur, I feel like I always have to use very, very little of it, or it'll overpower the rest of it. But this actually, man, I took a whole 1/2 ounce before I really got the cherry flavor.
It pairs really nice with the citrus.
It does. And plus the cherry garnish. It just makes sense. It almost seems like the cherry garnish is like part of the drink itself, not just garnish. But then you've got 1/2 ounce of fresh lime juice, 1/4 ounce of cinnamon syrup, and our cinnamon syrup batch did not. It basically got destroyed because I walked away from the stove. So we just put some cinnamon and then 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. And the first batch we made was definitely too bitter, and we cut it down to 1 dash. It was still really bitter, which, I mean, if you think about it, there's so much citrus. There's lime juice, there's orange juice, and then you're putting in the bitters. I think it made your mouth pucker. And so we actually added just like 1/4 ounce to 1/2 ounce of simple syrup just to cut that bitter, and that worked. That worked really well. So I'm drinking it now, and I've got my cherry garnish. And it's really good because it's almost just a faint taste of cherry.
It is. The liqueur is not overpowering. Even the garnish, it's just... I wish it would float. I wish we had the little things to kind of stick them to the top, but it pairs really good with the citrus. Kind of cuts it in half. The bitters is what kind of threw it over the edge at the very end. But if we had more of the cinnamon syrup, then it probably would have worked out.
Which, honestly, I didn't think about it. We didn't do the syrup part because it messed up. We did just cinnamon. So the syrup part is sugar, melted sugar. So we just used simple syrup.
So there was no sweetener. It just made it a little spicy.
So I guess we just accidentally recreated our own original drink. But no, I think it tastes really good. I think it's a little more tart than I want it to be, even with the simple syrup, because it was like what I added to mine. I think I went up to the 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, but it ended up being like any more than I put in there, it would have been too sweet.
Yeah.
So I think I found a happy medium. I think it's a really good drink. I think the cherry liqueur definitely gives it it almost has like a fruit punch vibe because you got the orange juice and then you add the cherry flavor to it. And just like with like ice cream sundaes, I'm excited to finish the drink for the sole purpose of eating the cherries.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
Finally down to where like all those ice is exposed, and I was trying to quietly get a cherry.
I know, drinking and eating on microphone it's not very appealing, but it's a show about hauntings and drinking, so I like it. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
I don't know. I think that initial bitterness kind of stuck with me. I'll say like 2.5.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, it's still good. I'm definitely going to drink it again, and we can experiment and get it perfect. But you only make one first impression.
That is true. Because you tasted it, and your face said it all, and then I took a taste. I was like, oh shit. So, okay. I guess it's not fair that you had to taste it first, and
Yeah, well, that can be the guinea pig. I'm fine with that when it comes to alcohol. But
fair enough. So make sure you guys tell us what you think. If you have any additions or subtractions to the recipe, by all means, send us an email, shoot us a message on Facebook, however you want to communicate. So that is pretty much the bulk of our drink. And now we're going to go into the Michigan Dog Man.
good one.
Yes, so the Michigan Dog Man, he's older. He's a werewolf or werewolf-type creature, first reported in 1887.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't either. I really didn't realize he was that old. But he was first reported in Wexford County, Michigan. And sightings have been reported in several locations throughout Michigan, primarily in the northwestern quadrant of the Lower Peninsula. Now, in 1987, the legend of the Michigan Dogman gained popularity when a DJ at WTCM-FM recorded a song about the creature and its reported sightings. I have to find that song. I have to find that song. That is my new mission tonight. We'll watch the movie after I listen to the song. Yeah, Steve Cook recorded a song named The Legend with a keyboard backing and credited it to Bob Farley. After he played the song, Cook received calls from listeners who said that they had encountered a similar creature. In the next weeks after Cook first played the song, it was the most requested song on the station. He also sold cassettes of the song for $4.
Oh, well.
Which I feel like
What year?
97?
That's about right.
Or no, what did I say? 1987.
Oh, then yeah, that's definitely right.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's a little... I mean, I wasn't around in 1987, but I don't know how much records or, mixed tapes, cassettes, whatever went for in 1987. I'll have to ask Mom. I'm going to text Mom.
Yeah, well, I just assume I don't know if that's high or low for cassette, if I'm being honest.
That's what I'm saying.
But if it's a little high for cassette, sure.
I mean, I'm absolutely going to
mass hysteria.
Yeah, I'm absolutely going to pay for that shit. What are you talking about? I would have...
If it's kind of low, he's just trying to make a name for himself.
Yeah, but it was a werewolf.
Famous.
It's a werewolf mixtape. You think I'm not going to pay whatever the equivalent of $4 is today?
Yeah, no, fair enough. I feel like you would still buy the cassette instead of trying to find it online if you could.
Oh, absolutely. So it was the most requested song on the station. He sold the cassettes. Okay, now I feel like an asshole. And donated the proceedings from the single to an animal shelter.
Hey, he's on theme though. It was an animal shelter.
I know, but I feel I'm over here like, oh, there's too much money in it. Like, it's going to dogs and cats.
God, now I hope it was a little overcharged for a cassette.
I know. Fuck. Okay, so why?
What's then, buddy? No.
Why do you keep barking? What does he see? It's a werewolf.
In the back.
Funny enough, last night was a full moon.
It was.
So maybe it makes sense that we got COVID and had to wait to record this.
Waiting till the timing was perfect.
Yeah, no. The universe gave us COVID, so we record this on a full moon. Over the years, Cook, who wrote the song, has received more than 100 reports of the creature's existence, and later added verses to the song in 97 after he heard the report of an animal break-in by an unknown canine at a cabin in Luther, Michigan. And then he also re-recorded it again in 2007 with a mandolin backing.
Oh.
So he's re-recorded the song basically every 10 years. He recorded it in 87, then 97, then 2007.
Oh, that's weird timing.
Every
10 years. You think it's a reoccurring thing? You think he's trying to start his own type of curse?
No, surely not. The first known sightings of the Michigan Dogman occurred in 1887 in Wexford County when two lumberjacks saw a creature whom they described as having a man's body and a dog's head. In 1938, in Parrish, Michigan, Robert Fortney was attacked by 5 wild dogs and said that one of the 5 walked on 2 legs. And then reports of similar creatures also came from Allegan County in the 50s and in Manistee and Cross Village in 1967. Linda S. Godfrey, in her book The Beast of Bray Road, compares the Manistee sightings to the Beast of Bray Road. She's saying that the 1967 sighting in Manistee compared heavily, I guess, with the Wisconsin
Yeah.
Beast of Prey Road. So that single that he recorded, he initially played as an April Fool's joke. However, he based the verses on actual reports of the creature. Okay. Somebody added a picture, but it's apparently confirmed to be hoaxed. Okay, so this is a sketch drawing. It has an artist signature, but I cannot read it. Oh yeah, I can. Brian Rosinski. But that is terrifying.
It's terrifying.
That is actually kind of what I'm looking for.
I was like, I will definitely hang that up for Halloween.
Yeah, it's the big, hairy, burly, just terrifying wolfman that I want. I feel like I need to attach a picture of what I'm talking about when I talk about the gangly style I don't like, so people know the fuck I'm talking about.
We'll post it on the Facebook.
On the Facebook. Jesus. All right, Papa. So we need to take this time to read an email that we got from, butcher this pronunciation, Thalina, Thalina. I'll say it's Thalina.
Okay.
Thalina is out of Pennsylvania. Thalina says, about 5 years ago, I was visiting family in northern Pennsylvania and was driving home from dinner with my cousin. We rounded a curve, and right when we came to the edge of the curve, we saw a huge, hairy wolf creature standing in the road. She said that it was so close they had to screech their tires to a halt. They turned the high beams on, and the creature stood up and faced the car. And she said that it was easily 7 or 8 feet tall. It towered over the car. She said its eyes glowed red and that it started walking towards the car. And she said that they whipped it in reverse. They backed in to a dirt road, 3-point turn, and zoomed back and took the long way home.
You definitely have way better instinct than me, because I would not have been able to get it back in reverse. I would have either floored it or just put it in park and accepted my fate.
I don't know. I probably would have reversed it, but not had the wherewithal of the 3-point turn. I just would have
kept going
reverse until I was comfortable. Because in my head, as long as it takes you a 3-point turn, it's gonna catch you. It's gonna get to the car. So I'm just gonna. I mean, obviously they got out of it just fine, and they might have done the 3-point turn in 0.2 seconds. But me, I just know I'm gonna have to I'm gonna use my backup camera. I'm gonna ease in, and I don't know.
Oh. Yeah, to that point, no, if the adrenaline is flowing and my brain actually says to do it, then yeah, I could probably be pretty speedy about it.
Mm.
But my brain don't work that way. And I definitely would have went forward. I would have took my chances trying to hit it before I tried to reverse away. I'm not a confident driver, especially in reverse. Let's put it that way. I know confidently I can hit that thing. Anything else? Not really.
You can hit that thing as in a tree or...
A tree, a rock, a guardrail, or a werewolf.
I was going to say, or the wolf man.
I don't know. We're playing roulette.
Okay, here's another one from Emily K. And she's local-ish. She's from Asheville, North Carolina. She says, "Hey guys, after hearing that your new episode is going to be about werewolves, I figured why not. So last October, my boyfriend and I were camping just off one of the lesser-used trail in the Smoky Mountains. It was close to midnight, and we were sitting by the fire when we heard this low, rumbling growl from the tree line. It wasn't a bear. I've lived in North Carolina my entire life, and I know what bears sound like. This was deeper, almost like it was vibrating through my chest. And then we saw it. 2 glowing yellow eyes staring at us from about 8 feet off the ground. The body was massive, hunched with these impossibly long arms and claws that caught the firelight when it moved. Its fur looked black, but the tips shimmered silver when it shifted. I took one small step forward, and the sound it made, half snarl and half howl, froze us in place. Then, without warning, it bolted into the woods so fast that I barely registered it moving. The tree shook like something huge had just barreled through. We packed up, and we hiked out with our headlamps on full blast. I didn't sleep for 2 nights, and even now I can't go camping without wondering if those eyes are going to be staring back at me again." And she said, "Do I believe in werewolves? Let's just say I didn't until that night. Stay spooky, Emily." Interesting.
I used to do a lot of camping, and listening to that, I don't want to anymore, because that's a threat all to itself. You don't know if you're going to make it out of the woods if you see something like that.
Well, and I was listening to Two Girls, One Ghost the other day, and they were talking about how being trapped in a tent is one of the worst places to be trapped.
Yeah.
Because one, there's nothing separating you from whatever you're scared of but a thin piece of fabric. But two, there's one exit and one entry. And then once you get out of that exit or entry, like, where are you going to go? Unless your car or something's like right close to you. And they bring a good point. You're basically just fish in a barrel.
That is a good point. And I gotta be honest, I don't like it.
I don't either. But I'm also curious because she said that she's lived in North Carolina her whole life and she knows what bears sound like.
Yeah.
Emily, how many bears do you guys get in Randolph County? And I don't say that like judgingly, because I live in Rockingham County and almost hit a black bear with my car on a residential street in the middle of the night. It was terrifying. So I'm genuinely, now I'm curious. How many bears do they get in Randolph County?
Yeah, because, I mean, since I moved here, I haven't seen a single bear. Living back in Lenore County area, we dealt with I seen one in person, and then working with the city, God, I saw that one.
I forgot about that. They kept calling you about that for like a week.
Yeah, they called me. I would have to report to work by like 7. They would call me at like 5:30 or 6 o'clock and wake me up and tell me, "Hey, there's a bear." I'm sorry. I don't know what you want me to do with the bear. I'm not going to fight the bear.
Well, because you called the state, right? You called wildlife.
Yeah, I told them what I did. Call wildlife, see what they want you to do. Oh, we did. They told us to leave it alone. Well, leave it alone.
Why are you calling me at 5 in the morning when the state...
I don't outrank them by any means, so please leave me out of this.
Jesus.
Let me sleep for a little while.
Right. But no, we are glad you're okay, Emily. We appreciate you sending in the email. I camped a lot as a kid, so maybe that's why I think this one is just scarier.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was, she said it was half snarl, half howl, and instantly where my mind goes is the wolf from 300.
Yeah.
And it has that weird supernatural, like, echoey howl.
Mm-hmm. When it's like, are you talking about at the beginning, where it's like stalking him into the cave or whatever?
Into the narrow pass or whatever, and then he kills it, but it's just that weird, like, multi-tonal... I don't know, that's all I'm thinking about, and how I would have done exactly what they did. I would have dipped out.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder, you just so happen to stumble across this, or has it been following you, or what the situation is there? I'm assuming the fact that it took off like that, maybe you just accidentally found it.
Yeah, but, I mean, if they were...
Oh no, I'm glad it didn't react like a scared beast and just try to maul you. I'm glad it did run away.
True. That is true. But it's growling, and it's close enough that she can make out, like, its height and its eyes, and she saw the claws, but it does make you wonder, like, were you being stalked? Or, again, like you said, did you just happen to bump into it? And it was like, fuck these guys.
Yeah, I mean, if it was stalking, maybe it was getting close enough just to try to study you, and you saw it, scared it away. Maybe it wasn't anticipating such a bright light coming off your head.
Maybe, but, I mean, I guess... I assumed that they didn't have any more encounters with it on the hike out, so that maybe it wasn't stalking them. That makes me feel a little bit better.
Maybe the lights is what did it, because isn't that a thing? Like, you hold a fire to a wolf and it runs away?
I feel like that's like every monster movie, like zombies, vampires, werewolves, Frankenstein. You just like swing a torch in front of them and they just freak out.
I mean, bring a torch when you go camping then. Test the theory.
Or we could just not encounter anything and not have to test anything. All right, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up from us. We want to thank you for being patient. We want to thank you guys for staying engaged on social media. We want to really thank you for the emails. We're starting to get a lot of emails coming through with different stories from you guys about things you've encountered or your family's encountered. So we're definitely going to start, if we get more involvement, tailoring our episodes, certain episodes, maybe specifically for listener stories. So we've probably got 40 stories at this point, I think, when I counted yesterday. So if you guys keep it coming, we can probably turn that into a whole segment. But we want to thank you for all the support on social media. We're almost at 2,000 followers, so if you could follow, like, subscribe, that would be great. And again, we just want to thank you for all the well wishes, all the emails and everything. All the engagement's been awesome. So again, I'm Logan, and you've been listening to Phantom Proof Podcast.
You've been listening to Phantom Proof Podcast. New episodes drop weekly, serving haunted history with a stiff drink. Got a ghost story of your own? Email it to phantomproofpodcast@gmail.com. Follow Phantom Proof Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. And remember, sip responsibly. And whatever you do, don't listen alone.